Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to your Nebula series Season 2 matchup tonight for Week 2. We're going to be having a Div 4 matchup. Andromeda Horizon, who are currently 1-0 in the season, are going to be facing off against Vitality Surge, who did lose their first series game in a 3-1 fashion. I am going to be your analyst and producer and lobby host tonight, Caustic, and joining me as the as the showcaster, we have Mod Hobbs.
Hello, everybody. I am so that's
That says
I
you're
am
Sky
not
J, but
Sky
you are not
J.
Sky J. Let me just
I am not Sky
retroactively
J.
fix that. I had adjusted
Hello,
it and did not
everybody.
press save.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our week
And
two
there we go.
matchup tonight between
It's like nothing
Andromeda and
happened.
Vitality. Nothing. I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
A
this is
little
going to be a fun
samurai for you
matchup.
all.
Do you want to start with the Horizon team?
Yeah.
All right.
So coming in for us tonight, for Andromeda Horizon, our tank, of course, will be Mystic. We have Asian and Jug playing DPS tonight, and our support line will be cored by Quesadilla and Tuba.
Yeah, and I mean these are some returning players. I know Jug and Quesadilla have returned from last season, and from the side of Vitality Surge, you've got John Me, you've got DJ Frying Pan, who I believe used to be the tank for one of these teams in Division 5. I could be mistaken on that, but now playing DPS. Trinity X Falcon will be the tank with Taxby and Palustris on the support side of things. And to start us off
I'm
tonight,
more
oh, go ahead.
familiar with the Palestras from their work in our sister league, Mythos. Casted them a couple times over there as well.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to see what kind of comps we're gonna get for here on our first map. Who's our home team tonight?
home team will be Vitality Surge, who
And
have chosen
Vitality
to go to
Surge has
Nepal.
picked Nepal as our opening map.
So
This will be great. We're actually gonna
our
get
first look at Nepal.
we're actually gonna get and we're gonna get a we're actually gonna be able to cast at least 3 maps tonight.
Yeah, we don't we don't have a map FF or anything in the way. So yeah, we got to cast all maps tonight. We're going to be starting off on Nepal. However, we do have the hero bans in. Vitality Surge with their first ban decided to ban the Vendetta. And Andromeda Horizon decided to ban the Ramatra. As we're going to be heading into the snowy plains of Nepal. Reminds me a little bit of Canada in the sense that there's a lot of snow. And it definitely shows with the snow on the roofs, the snow on all the houses, snow on the floor, the less than alive plants. But in the meantime, for the side of Vitality Surge, we're going to be seeing DJ Frying Pan still on this Bastion, John Me on the May. Trinity is going to be running this Czar with the Lucio Kiri backline. Lucio Kiri backline for both teams. Same DPS as well from the side of Andromeda Horizon, but mixing it up with a Sig instead. So this will be a fun kind of difference. Just a
So they
difference in that one
are
regard, I believe.
No, we are
Never
getting the
mind.
Symmetra. We're getting the Symmetra coming in from Vitality Surge, and they are very quickly to that high ground. But it doesn't matter. They thought they were going to be engaging high ground, but look at that. Horizon ends up taking the back of point. Trying to put
Horizon's
some shots
going
in
for this
early.
low ground early, getting point progress.
Oh, tried to get the wall and didn't quite get it. Falco now. Falco trying to put pressure. There's a big wall off on the Sigma, trying to get what they can get off of it. But they get healed up, and now, unfortunately, John Me gets walled off themselves, as well as Falco. Oh, but their tank falls. Mystic ends up falling, and Jug falls. And now with the flank coming from the other side, even with Trinity Falco falling themselves. And Fava, the Asian was able to get the wall to be able to get themselves out again. But after 16 percentage points, really early, it looks like Vitality Surge is going to be able to accumulate some percentage themselves.
If there was one word that I had to use to describe Vitality Surge right now, it would just be beam. You've got the Sim, you've got the Mei, you've got the Czar. They're all characters that have a beam sort of primary fire. That I feel like this team kind of knows what they're going into. They know if there's a diva or anything like that with a defense matrix type ability, they'll be able to prevent and still do damage through it. As Mystic is going to have a little bit of a difficulty with their eat ability, really only being able to eat the Lucio and Kiri bullets.
Oh, Falco starting to fall a little bit low, has to use that bubble, and a flip comes in, a beat now from Quesadilla. I'm not sure what they were trying to save there, but Trinity Falco ends up falling as a result of that beat, and they had already had the flip. They had already had the 0.1, but now Vitality has to reset.
I think
and Andromeda Horizon, he was took it.
I think the beat was used so that Mystic could stay alive and aggress a little bit after hitting that rock on the Mei, right? Like the fight before.
Oh, speaking of aggressive, here comes the rush now. Oh, everybody's pressing Q all at once. Mystic gets frozen, and so does Jug. And ends up falling. Both of them die. Tuba ends up falling to DJ Frying Pan. And now the flip looks like it's going to be coming back in now for Vitality Surge. That was an absolutely clutch Blizzard, especially with all of those other ultimates coming in. They were still able to pick off everything that they needed. Great play by Jami to get that high angle and then drop the Blizz right on top.
The Blizz was very beneficial. This
Asian
kind of
early getting Frying Pan. Trinity Falco falls as well. The Bastion ult doesn't find anything, but it doesn't matter because Andromeda ends up wiping up everybody else. Hasby goes down. Jami tries to get the wall up to get a little bit extra time, and they do add a few more seconds of percentage, but with 30 seconds left for attack, looks like we might be in last fight territory.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going to wall off this Zarya right away, looking to get that pick. They will
and
get it.
Zarya goes
that's
down.
going to let them use the Diva freeze.
And here comes the Blizz. The Blizz comes in. Johnme surviving with it. Oh, are we going to get a cheeky flip from behind? No, Tasby ends up falling. And with only 10 seconds left, they're going to have to pull something out of their pants on this one.
Somebody
just
has
to get the touch.
I don't know if
3,
it's the Lucio, the Kiri.
2. I don't think they have time.
They don't.
And first point ends up going to Andromeda Horizon. But this was a well-fought fight by both teams.
Yeah, both teams really held their own in these fights. Honestly, could have come down to the wire if someone was able to contest for the side of Vitality Surge. They had that they had that grav coming up, so you know that they were looking to try and use that in one of these fights. Just weren't able to get it in that last fight, but now we might see a switch as Trinity is going to go over to the Winston. Join me on the Reaper. So,
and Frying Pan's still on the Symmetra just for the TP, or are we going to see a full... No, coming out on Symmetra after all of that.
I mean, this is a really centralized control point, so the Sim isn't the worst option.
Especially with the 4 turrets now instead of 3. They're going to get opportunity. The Reaper TPing high just to kind of keep themselves alive after DJ Frying Pan gets domed by Asian. Trying to go in now. Accretion does not hit. The fading. Oh, Tasby now getting dangerously low, getting so low, going in, trying to fight this, and ends up taking the L. Dies for free.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough pick to lose that early in that point in the fight. I mean, your team is kind of being forced to sustain now as Taxby's going to go over to this Moira, maybe for a little bit extra damage output. Less focused on
that seems to be the case.
Lucio speed and more the damage.
that makes sense. That a little more sense why they sacked the life there, just to see if they could maybe get a pick or two. The Accretion does not find anything. Oh, Falco falling low and has to jump themselves out, saving themselves. Johnme putting pressure in the front. Without a Zarya, it's a little bit more tricky for this Reaper to do anything. Here comes the beat now from Quesadilla. Trying to get a little bit sustained. Frying Pan falls to the grenade from Jug, but Tuba ends up dying, and that's a good trade. The flip is starting to go. Jug shooting shots in, but not finding anything in turret form. Johnme finds Jug to finish them off, but here comes the Blizz and a Cole. And here comes OC. How many are they going to be able to pick off from this? Asian freezing up just to be able to get to survive. The Accretion comes in and hits Falco. And Falco's able to finish off Quesadilla. Tasby and Frying Pan also finding picks. And at 75%, now Vitality Surge controls the point here.
That was a battle of ults. And I feel like for Vitality Surge, they did good in sustaining during the ults from Andromeda Horizon and using that to their ability to then be able to kind of come back into this next fight with point progress. But I'm curious to see if they still have the ults they need in hand.
Oh, the rush comes in. Oh, Mystic falls early! Kitsune Rush comes in and finds Johnme. Jug finds Johnme and Tasby. That's huge. The jump in from Falco now trying to find somebody, but they're falling dangerously low. It's just down to Falco and Pal. Johnme and Taz, Rez back in point. This is a long sustained fight here, and he uses the Primal just to stay alive and to sustain just a little bit more time, giving Tasby and Johnme time to get back. Here comes the Gravitic Flux. Who does it find? It finds the Moira, who fades at the last second. Johnme going for the spin, ends up taking Accretion. Velustrous finds Jug, so that is going to be one pick now. And here comes the Blizzard from Phasia trying to get up just to survive this. Phasia does find Frying Pan, but Tuba falls. Johnme finds up and falling as well to Phasia. The Accretion completely misses, and down goes Mystic. It's down to just supports and Falco now for Vitality Surge. But they're able to withhold everything as they finish off Asian and Quesadilla. And Falco so far in, trying to get a little bit more poke as they're already 60% of the way back to Primal. Here comes the disruptor shot.
To the Primal. Here's the Bastion just trying to get somebody. Will take down DJ Frying Pan.
Does find Frying Pan. The Cole comes in to try to get sustained healing on them, and they find Quesadilla with a punch. This is still 4v4 territory here. Oh, Palustrous falls though. The Monkey right on top of everything. The Kitsune Rush finds it. Jug falls low. And just like I said, the Primal comes live. Starting to swing away. Frying Pan with the OC finds Mystic. But Asian finds Johnme and Frying Pan. Tuba falls. And now we're sitting in a 3v2 situation at 99%. It's just the Reaper. It's just the Lucio. Lucio falls. And now Asian trying to do whatever they can to stay alive. But the 3v1 might be too much for them. Here comes the spin. They find nothing, and point number 2 goes to Vitality Surge.
Really well played there by Vitality Surge. Any of those fights really could have went Andromeda Horizon's way, but they just kept fighting tooth to nail, kept into it, and were able to come out with a map or a point win on that map, looking to potentially take it even further now. And I'm very impressed by what I saw there. As now you're going to see Jug going back to the Bastion.
Point number 3. Here we go. Trinity Falco changing over to the Sigma. We're going to get a Sigma duel. This is going to be interesting. These are two very, very different comps.
Very different. And
but both of them move pretty slow. These are both two very slow comps. See what they can do and see. But I think this is the comp looks like it favors Vitality Surge a little bit. Accretion coming in, the Asian jumping in, trying to see if he can get a little bit of damage to the back line. Falco falling a little bit low, but is going to get sustained. Quesadilla jumps to point and is going to get this early flip unless they can contest on it. Oh, Jug finds Frying Pan, and that's going to be it for first fight, as they now have the point and they're able to put pressure on. Johnny falls, and Vitality now has to just pull back and hope that they don't take any more losses before they can reset here.
Jug has been putting
and try
in
to make a
work
push, but now
so far.
Holding them. So much work. He's already got his ultimate. Less than a minute into the game at the map. Illustrious falling low, does not find purchase with that artillery, but he does find it with the turret killing John Me.
This May has honestly been having a bit of a tough time just being able to aggress into this team, just because of how much damage this Bastion is able to output.
Now putting up a little bit of an angle. Here comes the beat for the engage. Tuba finds Falco. Oh, what a fall that's gonna be. Now they have to full reset again, only down to 42 seconds left. And starting to, and the map is starting to slip away. Oh, completely misses the accretion. That's going to give them an opportunity to come in if they can. But there's the graphitic flux. Catches 3, 4, but nobody dies. A beautiful Zuzu saves lives.
The Zuzu came in
down
clutch.
goes Frying Pan. Here comes the Bluzz. Here comes the Bluzz. Here comes the Freeze. Here comes the Cole, trying to see what they can get. Coalescence putting pressure in, finds Mystic. Tasby is falling low, though, and here comes the spin from Asian. Finds 2, and Jug finishes off John Me. And with only 7% left, this is going to have to be an absolutely powerful OC from Frying Pan. Dodges the artillery strike. And here's OC with no health and a dream, but not able to find anything here. The Moira coming in trying to stall. Oh no! It looked like Falco was gonna take an L right off the end, but ends up flying over top. Falco demeched. Now finding the May on point as well. Just hoping that they can find something. Wish they had the Blizz for this at this point. Gets the high pop-up. Time ticking away again. No one is there to get it. And Andromeda Horizon wins. First point.
Really
here.
well played from both teams, honestly. As apparently the play of the game is going to nobody from what it showed there. There we go. Faith Asian.
There we go.
Play of the game. Faith Asian had some
Asian
really good right-click kills, despite the fact they did not come out with a map win. Hopefully we'll see some of them on display here. Good freeze in this fight. Finds one with a headshot. Finds a second as well, and just a really well played from both teams, despite the fact that Andromeda Horizon will come out with the map win.
That first map was, the first point was really heavily contested. The second point was very, very strong Vitality Surge, but Andromeda Horizon on the final point finds a way to completely shut out Vitality Surge from being able to get anything done.
Yeah, I mean, Vitality Surge were definitely holding their own on those first 2 points. It was that second point that they kind of struggled a little bit with.
The one they won?
Sorry, no. Vitality Surge was doing good on the first 2 points. It was that third one that they were.
It was the third point that they
That's
started.
what I was
They really struggled.
Sorry,
sorry.
brain's
look
kind of
confusing.
scatterbrain moment.
You're doing 4 things at once here. Caustic is pulling triple duty tonight as the lobby host. He is running production. He is my producer tonight, and he is also running as my analyst.
And observing for streams. So.
And observing. All I have to do is just sit here and call what I see and run a prediction or two.
Yeah. Which, honestly, thank God that you're able to run the predictions, because I would forget to.
That first map was, I saw a lot of good things out of Falco. it's just they weren't able to get in, and one of the things that I'm really like seeing from Quesadilla that I'm really enjoying from, Andromeda Horizon is, being aggressive with the beats and not using them reactively, but using them proactively and
Yes.
to beat their engages, um, to keep their Sigma alive, to keep Mystic alive in any kind of aggressive push. It's been working very, very well for them, and uh, it's something that I think a lot of other teams should emulate, especially on teams that really want to be able to move fast.
Yeah, has that is a big part of it. It's a really big part is being able to use those ults proactively as opposed to reactively. It really does help a team. But while we wait for map pick, I'll throw us over to the map pool. Reminder, it does not have to be hybrid. They can go with any game mode they like. If you had the opportunity to choose out of these maps, which map and game mode would you bring Andromeda Horizon to if you were on the side of Vitality Surge?
I would want to go to something that is wide open. I don't want to give Andromeda an opportunity to keep us trapped in tight quarters. Um, I'm not looking for something like Atlas. I don't want um, anything too claustrophobic. Rialto's not a really good choice because of all of those angles and kind of tight corners. I'm looking for something more like if you're looking at a flashpoint, I'm thinking more like the Suravasa. I'm thinking more about Brute 66 or Esperanza. Anything that has a lot of wide open space that kind of punishes a team that is um, that were that really benefits from being grouped up, and that's what we've been seeing from Andromeda so far. Now, if they can flip into a poke comp that is gonna work for them, then maybe that's gonna come back and bite Vitality in the butt, but, from what we've seen off the first thing there, what I want is something a little bit more wide open, something like, something where you can have a lot of angles and, a lot of open space. Something maybe like Blizzard World, something maybe like Eichenwalde. Um What are you seeing? What are you thinking here?
Well, I do have the selection, and kind of falls in line with what you were saying, as they will decide to take it over to Blizzard World.
Yeah, this is gonna be a really good opportunity for especially if Vitality can start on the defense. Um, the only issue that Blizzard World will really face with them is that really first tight choke. If they are able to beat that choke and explode into the high ground, um, I think that they have an opportunity to really control the pace of this. Now, Vitality looks like we don't know yet. They haven't picked who's on offense and defense first, but um, and that is a good question that comes in from Falco as they're thinking about it. Um, it looks the question was, are the new heroes available here in week 2?
I
And
believe they start on week 3.
I believe there was a question about this. Um, and coming
I
in
will get
from
confirmation
I do.
really
So
quick.
coming, yeah, the question was asked earlier on today, by Mystic, and the question was, "Are the 5 new characters available week 2?" And there was a response from Nyx and Alvin. Says the heroes will be eligible for official matches at the start of week 2, February 23rd. So it looks like they are available. I'm just gonna pass that on. Uh,
Yeah, so they are eligible.
they are eligible to be played. Um, Which is fun because nobody actually played any on the first map, I don't think.
Yeah, that we didn't see any. So
We didn't see any, which was really interesting because I think that, um, especially, from Andromeda because I think that, although they do have the Lucio that they want to use, right?
I believe they do want to run a Lucio, so uh,
Yeah, so you're probably not going to get the Mizuki or the Junkrat cat. A
right.
Junkrat. I always call her a Junkrat cat
Junkrat
because
cat.
I think that she's junk, but I know she's Jetpack cat.
Mhm. We will have Andromeda Horizon Horizon. What?
Andromeda, her, yeah.
Horizon. I almost said Verizon, like the phone brand.
Oh,
Sorry. I confused myself there for a second. Andromeda Horizon will be choosing to attack first. And we do have hero bands. From the side of Andromeda Horizon, who will be on the right, they will be banning the Sojourn. And from the side of
I have the
Surge,
question
Vitality
now.
Surge will be banning the Sig.
But that question now that it's come up, I'm starting to wonder if we're going to see, especially here on Blizzard World, where there are a lot of fun angles, are we going to see the Emery?
Ooh. That's a good question. I kind of want to see the Emery now.
I think that you have a lot of opportunity here, um, especially in like the old Sojourn, like playing the same way that a Sojourn would. You don't have as much maneuverability as Sojourn, but you can still take those really nice little angles. There are a lot of like, as a hit scan player, I love I love this map because there are so many spots where you can just peek through a couple different walls and get a really good angle and then move to another one. Here we are now,
Yeah, we have
looking at the
arrived at Blizzard
beautiful.
World, nighttime Blizzard World. Always good to check out the Heroes Arcade. In the meantime, as we wait for Vitality Surge's defensive picks. And we are seeing the Emery. There we go.
So
The
we
Emery
do
with the
see Embry
Reaper.
being played by Frying Pan. And so this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about now. This is exactly kind of what I was talking about, is especially from especially from Vitality Surge, is seeing the opportunity for them to try to get a little bit of poke out. But they're actually switching it up and they are going dive. So they're going to try to take that high ground as soon as they can. Not not quite a traditional dive, but very, very close. They have the Kirilu backline, which is going to engage with them here.
Yeah, and they have the Sombra. I'm curious to see who their first hack target is going to be,
All
depending
right,
on
right
when
now,
they decide to use the invis.
all right, Sombra trying to take an angle, ready to get things going. Quesadilla lining up to get that speed boost ready to go. There's the dive. Really early, they're jumping right onto Frying Pan to try to get him out. Frying Pan is going to get sustained, and Asian is the first to fall. Frying Pan finds him. The M-Mort falls, but now the high ground pretty well is controlled by Vitality. And this is exactly what they wanted. They wanted to get that high ground and force them out. And now they're getting that opportunity.
Yeah, well, Vitality is at least able to kind of regroup on this height now to hold on for this defense. From the side of
Here
Andromeda.
comes the engage. Trying to drop right on top of Tasby. Tasby is isolated. The Immort goes down, but Tasby falls. Form coming in from Falco to try to see if they can get a little bit of punching in on the Mystic, but Mystic ends up jumping out. And with the bubble, the bubble falls very, very quickly. Jami is falling low. Falco's falling low, and Frying Pan also starting to fall low. And Vitality not being able to hold on as well as they'd like here. And there's the beat from Quesadilla, as we stated before. trying to get a really hard engage right on the front. And with Mystic starting to fall a little bit lower, this is a really long, sustained fight.
Really long, sustained fight. Ooh,
oh, Frying Pan finds two! Finds both DPS. Jug finds Tasby, but it doesn't matter. And Surge able to push them back. And now only 2 minutes left.
The ults that Vitality Surge have are going to be really beneficial for them in this next fight. I'm hoping to see maybe 1 or 2 of them get used to really sway the position or sway the momentum more in the side of Vitality Surge so they can really lock down this defense. But it's going to be interesting to see because Andromeda Horizon does have these ults, including EMP that's going to come up that could cancel out a very big ult, so you have to be careful with that.
That's what they're looking for right now. Phasian has the Genji plate. Here's a couple ults coming in now. 1, 2, 3 ults. Big blast coming from Frying Pan. Asian tried to ult, but took a big blast and gets just completely obliterated. Quesadilla falling dangerously low now. Jami finds Mystic. And Falco, Johnme, and Tasby still holding on to this point with only 45 seconds left.
It honestly seems like Vitality Surge has taken that first map loss and said, all right, no more of this. Let's lock it
No
down
more.
on the defense. Let's stop this momentum where it is. Jug's going to go to the Vendetta now. You're going to see the Zarya from Mystic. But I wonder if it's too little too late. You don't really have a lot of time on hand, so you have to play this aggressive.
Especially with 2 ults. Oh, we say that, the Frying Pan falls. Here comes the Kitsune rush now, but Asian ends up falling to a punch from Falco. And Falco pops his ultimate, putting in punches on Mystic, who's just burning through those bubbles. None of it matters. The spin from Jami finds Tuba and Mystic. And they hold. 89.3% of first point full hold, or quasi-full hold, from Vitality Surge. Andromeda not able to move past our first point.
Hey, being able to keep it at a 0 on the scoreboard is huge. That's what you aim to do, and honestly really well played from the side of Vitality Surge. They're going to be able to go on the offense now, and this is their opportunity to take a map back, put themselves tied in this series, and really bring it to a little bit of a halt in terms of the progress that Andromeda Horizon had made on that first point. This is their opportunity to really kind of put on the brakes of Andromeda's progress, so we are
Vitality now taking the Winston on their own side, still playing with that Reaper, and of course the Emery, who has so many fun angles that they can play with. Following up with Moira and Kiriko.
We will see the Ramatra as well for the side of Andromeda Horizon. I was kind of lingering a little bit, waiting to see the pick. Was a little bit late, so I'm not sure if they'll necessarily be in their most favored position off of the spawn doors opening up, as they're just now
well,
getting
they are able to get to the top of the stairs. Yeah, they get there just in time. The shield comes up, trying to deny any poke. A dynamite goes out and finds Frying Pan, who gets finished off with a body shot from Asian, and that early pick might force the reset. But with 3 minutes and 30 seconds in the time bank, you've got opportunities here. This looks like they're playing in the same way.
You have the time to work with.
Quesadilla falls a little bit low, starting to get down. The grenade completely misses from memory. Palustrous kind of falling dangerously low, able to find cover. And here comes the dive in now from Trinity. Falco gets booped out, and the Jug goes to form and just completely melts through Falco and Frying Pan back in scout form. And now they have to pull back. Full reset, but they still have 3 minutes on the time bank to get 89.4%.
Jug has just been on fire recently. just getting pick after pick after pick. And it's understandable how they were the MVP last match against the Timber Trolls for Andromeda Horizon. They've been showing that it wasn't necessarily a fluke. They've been putting in this work on this defense as well.
If they can survive this form, they're going to have a really good opportunity to push in. They do survive form. Jami is falling really, really low. They do end up falling to the dynamite, but Falco and Tasby, they find it. That is a team kill. An absolute slobber knocker coming in from Vitality Surge, who is going to be completely uncontested and take the second map here on Blizzard World.
Wow. Talk about a kill fest in that small room there at the end. XP came out with 3 of the elims there at the end. Trinity Falco will get play of the game with the Ramatra, presumably in that last fight as well. Which gives us another opportunity to kind of see what was going on in that small room. Finds 2, Taxby gets 1, Taxby gets the rest. And that's just a really well-fought play, a well-fought point. A really well-fought map for Vitality Surge, taking the series to 1-1. As with that,
Here I am.
we will be having a bio break after this, but some closing remarks, Hamad Hubs.
I thought that this map was going to be very much about how open that area is, but we've entirely forgot about how tight that high ground is and how close that is. And that was what gave Vitality Surge the opportunity to do that, dropping the zone and being able to finish everything off with all of the AoE damage that they were able to put out in that, the grenades, the orb, obviously the zoning, and then just the pure punch, the poor punch power coming in from Falco. And then Tasby finding the final kills, finding the confirmations on 3. This is one of those scenarios where, you know, you might get the triple kill on the kill feed, but all of that damage came in from somebody else. And from there, that was Falco's point 1, I believe, in its entirety. This was an absolute testament to great calming and great team building. And after 2 maps, we're tied 1-1.
Yeah, we're tied 1-1 as we're going to be going into a 5-minute bio break for both teams, so stay tuned, stay here with us, get some snacks, get some popcorn, get yourself some water, use the bathroom if you have to during this 5-minute bio break, and we will be back shortly. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We have returned from the 5-minute bio break, and we're ready to get back into the swing of things with this matchup here. Going to be a very fun one to watch tonight. 1-1 the score currently. We do have the hero bans and the map selection coming into this next map. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the map that's going to be coming up just shortly. As next map will be Flashpoint, as they are going to be taking it into Suravasa.
Uravasa. Again, this is a map that has a combination of those tight areas and a lot of open space. So if depending on the comps that they decide to run, whoever is able to take advantage of those tight spaces and force overextensions into those spots, I think that's going to end up determining the outcome of this.
Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting to see. I think that might be the end all be all kind of game plan for for these teams, as we are going to enter Suravasa just now.
Here we are. This is not first point, but it is a absolutely stunning little pool. Market, of course, is the first point of Suravasa.
We're seeing the cat, at least for the time being.
There is a cat sighting.
The cat has been spotted. The cat is in the building, I repeat.
We're going to see the cat the whole thing, or is this just going to be a quick carry? No.
Yeah, it's carry TP.
We got baited.
The cat turned into a fox somehow. I don't know. I mean, they're similar animal species, maybe?
Watch each other's backs up.
We will have the
They're
Ramatra
not,
in play
actually.
along with the JQ. Oh, okay. Fair enough then. They both have ears.
Okay.
Simple enough.
I have ears.
Yeah, that's not really that much. Full of fire.
You know who doesn't have ears? Neither of the players on this team. I thought I was getting ready for someone who had just been eliminated, but no, both teams were able to get healed up really quickly, and it's going to be an early cap for Andromeda Horizon. Although Tuba falls and Quesadilla falls from the punches from Falco, but not being undone. There is a trade. Falco finding it. We are sitting here now at a 2-on-1. Venture trying to see if they can pick anything out, and Jug ends up falling. And after 35%, I forgot to put the poll in. I am so sorry. I'll start it right now.
Don't worry, Twitch chat will remind you.
Twitch chat will remind me. It's going to be...
They will yell at you for it.
There you go. There's the poll.
Gamba?
The gambling begins.
Punches form already, though.
Pressure coming in. The big wall off coming in. Trying to get Mystic. Mystic is able to survive it, though. Although they fall. Frying Pan finds Asian with a headshot. And Jami just freezes Mystic to death.
Yeah, this
Another
is gonna be...
headshot from Frying Pan on Tuba. Absolutely stunning play.
Honestly, I feel Vitality Surge is going to have the more favorable matchup here with their team composition. They're really looking for being able to take the point early and then being able to slowly pick off any targets that try and touch. So I feel like they're going to be able to sustain very well and get these early
That being
picks
said, here
very
comes
well.
the all-in again. Jami walls himself off. Quesadilla ends up falling quickly, though. Here comes the Blizzard now. And form from Falco with 2 ults committed and 1 point taken. Vitality Surge leads 1-0.
And now Jug's going over to this Vendetta. I don't hate the Vendetta here. I just think without the Zarya, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to be as aggressive with this Vendetta, because you don't have the security of your bubbles to keep you alive.
That is my fear as well. I mean, you can attack with Mystic a little bit if there's enough pressure. But you have to go first, and you can't go first. And this innate. And I just want to, while we're in the middle of this highlight, and Frying Pan getting fires, dropping as many as they can, not getting anything. No purchase found whatsoever. And Jug, Jug finding another one. Finding Pal and Johnny. And that is again, just like first point, a quick pick off from Andromeda Horizon. And I just wanted to say before we continued on here that we are now at, here on the Nebula Series Twitch channel, we have 500 followers. So thank you everybody for following here. And to celebrate it, here comes the Blade! The Blade finds Tasby! Trying to find anything else that they can with a Jug, putting a headshot on Frying Pan and Falco. That's 2 to go. Palustris gets the torpedo to hit Asian, and it's just Palustris now and Jami. Jami able to get themselves out of it, but it's another team fight won by Andromeda Horizon.
Get themselves out of it.
They aren't. They are Mystic Chases.
And I guess Jug is making me eat my own words. I was concerned
And
about how
off
the
a
Vendetta would
rush.
do, and now they already have the ult, so it's been 2 fights.
Falco getting into position to try to get a little bit of time here. Speaking of that ult, here it comes. Finds Tasby with it. Mystic finishes off the tank. And barring miracles, that is going to be this point going to Andromeda Horizon.
It's a back and forth. These maps have just been back and forth. That's all it's been.
These have been, well, I would say map 2 was
Map 2 was a little bit less, but right back it's 1-1.
And here we go. Early setup and early position established now by Andromeda Horizon. Genji just flinging those shurikens. Getting a little bit of damage on that. There comes. Doesn't find anything except for Frying Pan falls. Tasby picks up Doom though, and Mystic ends up taking the L. Jug though, Jug being an absolute force on this Vendetta finds Jami and Tasby. And Quesadilla finishing off Falco. Jug finding the 3rd pick of the team fight, finishes off Palustris. And that's it for that team fight.
I would have said that Mystic's ult was a little bit aggressive, but it did work out in the end, so I can't really complain. I could see a scenario where maybe they get picked off for using that ult, but they
Speaking of getting picked off, there again, the wall comes in. Trying to get anything, but everybody's able to work themselves around it. Mystic falling dangerously low and falls to the headshot from Frying Pan. Tuba ends up falling as well. Trinity Falco putting punches in. Palustris falls to Phasian though, so this is not as close a fight as we thought. Quesadilla tried to put pressure on Tasby, but Jug ends up falling to Johnny. And even though Phasian, and here comes the Blade now from Phasian, trying to win this fight here and now. Finds Johnny. The dive comes in. Are they able to find a second one? No! Tasby falls dangerously low, but finishes off Phasian before they have an opportunity. More time being stalled out here as 3 now get back from Andromeda Horizon. That Blade didn't find purchase, but it found more clock.
Yeah, adding a bit of time, the OT here, you got to set yourself up properly though. You don't really have a lot of point progress to give, so you have to be careful, especially with Jug having this ult in hand.
And here Jug finds Tasby again. Poor Tasby on the end of that great sword. Oh, but Trinity Falco finding stuff off the rush. Jami chasing down Quesadilla. Taking a slash from behind. It's a 2v1, or sorry, a 3v2 at this point. And Palustris doing whatever they can. They take the slash from overhead. Jami trying to hold out here now with the bodily freeze, the personal heal. But takes to the headshot from Quesadilla. And point 2, won by Andromeda Horizon.
Really close on a lot of these fights. It's not like this team is winning super easily. A lot of these fights are nail-biter fights on who will end up winning. It's typically 1 or 2 people left per team that end up winning a team fight. So this is
the percentage point is
match.
isn't telling the truth, and Very already. Vitality Surge taking the high ground, the top of the stairs. Seeing what they can do. Jug taking an angle on it. Gets up to diving in. Slices their way out. Here comes the Blizz now in. The Beat trying to hold it. But Quesadilla gets frozen off. Oh, 3 of them get walled off and behind as the team fight spills out into the courtyard above. Tasby fighting the boop that kills Jug. And it may be that they've taken the point, but it won't matter because Falco comes in with Annihilation. Starting to punch his way around, finds Quesadilla. Throwing punches now in, finds Mystic and favorite Asian. And what an absolute ultimate that wins that point back for Vitality Surge.
That's really the only downside of the composition that Horizon is currently running. If you get an ult like that, like the May freeze, the Ramatra ult, you're all so grouped up that you'll be definitely taking.
They're going to double the ults here. They're doubling up ults here. Frying Pan trying to find anything with his Sky ult. Trying to get a big shot in now. Doesn't find anything, but holds time on it. The freeze comes in to force things out. Frying Pan finds Quesadilla. There's a 5v4. Here comes the ult for Mystic and the Blade. How much can they find out of this? Mystic finds Frying Pan again, but another Blizzard just to sustain time on the point. Palustris gets walled off by their own May, but Phasian finding Palustris. Tasby has fallen. Mystic is falling dangerously now, but it gets healed up. Jug has another ultimate. Are they going to try to pop it here to try to win this point? They don't need to. The flip comes in now. And
Jug has this ult, and this will be a big ult. Palu's gonna go back over to the Kiri. Jomni's gonna go over to the Reaper, but Jug has an opportunity here to get a lot of early damage or some possible elims with this ult.
And here it is coming in, seeing what they can find with it. They find nothing! But Mystic finds Tasby and Falco finding Quesadilla. Both Lucio's dead. And Ramatra sitting on the point now, getting now pressured by both Jug and Mystic. Oh, a third player comes into the game. Can Falco stay alive? Do they have enough sustain to do it? They do! Finding Asian, Frying Pan finds Jug, and Mystic falls, both to the big strong fists of Falco.
And once again, back-to-back close maps. I mean, close points. 2-2 now. It's basically winner take all for this Flashpoint map. Temple for the last Flashpoint here on Suramasa.
Just looking at ults here, we have both support ults now coming on. They are online for Andromeda Horizon. And speaking of which, here comes the rush. And Falco coming in now with Annihilation. Both beats are dropped. There is no better beat. They both happen at the same time, but Falco is falling dangerously low. Getting a lot of pressure put on him, and he does fall, along with Tasby. Frying Pan falls, John Mee falls, Palustris falls, and that is a quick Jug finding 3 in that team fight to start the percentage ticking away for Andromeda Horizon.
Yeah, Andromeda Horizon has the early lead, and they're coming up on a lot of good ults. But at the same time, Vitality Surge will have the Kitsune Rush coming in as well, which can be a fight changer just by itself, even if you have other
Here comes the
ults
Blade.
with it, but here's the Blade.
Asian trying to get the Blade in. Quesadilla finds Frying Pan. Mystic finds Tasby. This is going to be another really quick fight win now. Off the back of this Blade, which didn't actually find anything, but called for enough cooldowns that the rest of the team was, without using another ultimate, able to absolutely clean up Vitality Surge. And now we're in last fight territory for Vitality.
Yeah, Vitality is really looking to use some of their ults early on here. They have to at least be able to touch as long as they possibly can, so Johnny's going to be looking to try and get a
Here's
really
the
good
rush.
ult. Get grouped up.
Mystic
There's the rush.
pops their ult through. The rush comes in. There's the spin. Spin finds absolutely nobody. But Quesadilla finding Tasberry and John Mee. DJ Frying Pan finding the headshot on Phasian. Maybe they have Asian. Maybe they have an opportunity to do something with it. Form comes in from Falco just to hold it up at the beat. The beat coming in from Quesadilla to sustain everybody. Down goes Falco. And in a very definitive point number 5, Andromeda Horizon wins map 3, Suravasa.
Talk about a close series we have so far. Very close on this flashpoint, keeping it just neck and neck for all of these maps. Are you not entertained? We get to see Jug pulling out a 3K here.
Another
And
3K. How many
another.
3Ks did they have in that map?
They're collecting them like Pokemon cards at this rate. And we will have Vitality Surge is going to have map pick and first ban, as this is technically going to be match point for Andromeda Horizon, but with how close we've been seeing these points and these maps, it's really anybody's game, even if you are down 2-1. With match point on the line, you do have a really good chance to bring this back and turn it around.
Suravasa, I think, was really just an opportunity for Andromeda Horizon to get the win, and I think that map very, very much favored them, and they were able to get the win off of it, but it wasn't as easy as they were hoping it would be.
Right, but I feel like even if it's not as easy as you were hoping it would be, it still kind of tells you some good information that you can take into these next maps. Like, okay, it wasn't as easy as we thought, but part of that was because of XYZ. So we know, okay, maybe the Vendetta was something that we struggled with. Maybe the May, maybe the Ramatra, just kind of, throwing out ideas for both teams, really. The Queen, the whatever. So you know kind of what to target ban coming into this next map.
And speaking of open maps, like I've been saying before, when they picking their maps, they are picking an escort map for this next one. And like I said, with wide open maps that have a lot of high angles and open roofs and not a lot of enclosed areas, until you get to that third point, we're going to be heading our way to Rialto.
Yeah, Rialto. This will be fun. We do have the ban from Vitality Surge already as well. Vitality Surge will be opting to ban the Diva for this map, which I do understand. I can see Rialto being a map that a Diva could definitely have a lot of power on. I can also see Sigma having a fair amount of power on it, but Surge has already banned the Sigma, so understandable why they would choose to go into a Diva ban instead.
Yeah, there's a lot of high ground that gives them, that opportunity to get those high angles. And by banning the Diva, it's keeping a tank out of there. They could have sent in the Monkey, but a Monkey is easily dealt with, much more easily than Diva, especially with if you are going to play something like Ash, and you want to get that boop out. It's much easier to get the boop on a Monkey than it is a Diva, just because of that defense matrix. So I think that I think the ban is the right one for the map, um, especially if we do see Frying Pan continuing to play on that M rate, which I do expect him to.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see a bit more of the Emery.
You know
Oh,
what
never
though?
mind.
That being said, I would be very, very surprised if they played Emery this map, seeing as he's not going to be available.
Yep, they have opted to ban the Emery. In response, we do have a swap now. Quesadilla will be going to the bench. And Arctic will be coming in to replace them. So your bans for tonight, for this map, will be Diva and Emery.
I'm not going to be. I don't expect to see a lot unless there is something that they specifically want to be playing here, that they know that Arctic has been working on. So we'll take a look at it, because uh, Arctic is generally plays the Lucio the same as Quesadilla. So this is actually quite interesting of what they're going to be seeing. Um, is there going to be a a different support that we haven't been seeing from Arctic in the past, that maybe Quesadilla doesn't really have in their hero pool, um, or is it just like, oh, Quesa's fingers are tired, do we need to give them a break from moving everybody around the map at warp speeds? Because honestly, at this point in time, I'm feeling like Quesadilla has been one of the MVPs of this game. We don't say their name a lot unless they're on the kill feed and dying, but their movement has been an absolute important part of this game. So I'm very interested to see what they end up coming out on.
And it's evening Rialto that we'll get instead of morning or any of the other times. I believe afternoon also being an option, but we will get the evening time. A nice evening Rialto match.
And there you go. The prediction is up now, because you are all degenerate gamblers,
Crackhead addicts for gambling.
gambling those channel points. Don't get me wrong, I am a poker player myself, but I don't do sports betting.
Esports betting. But we will have Mystic on the Czar and Jug on this Ven. But
Okay,
this might
is
be
this
the reason.
is this true?
I
What
believe
we're
it could genuinely be true. I think they will actually run it down with the Mercy Pocket on
On
Fake
Asian.
since Jug and Tuba and Mystic will kind of be one trio. This is true. They're running it down with the Mercy Pocket.
Well, here it goes. Mercy pocketing Asian, already trying to take an angle behind, seeing if they can find anybody. Tasby on the right. Maybe they're able to sort something out. Tasby is completely isolated. That is an opportunity for them, but they catch Asian off. Even though Asian does find the pick on Johnme, Frying Pan finishes Asian off and forces Arctic Spread back into their own spawn. But there's a lot of card progress being made in the meantime.
Yeah, the cart's kind of... They're trying to take this where they're not holding that first corner, they're holding the second corner, which honestly I can understand why you might want to do that. You might feel a bit more confident holding the second corner instead. Mystic has a lot of ult progress, or charge, a lot of charge already with one bubble to spare. Already, or actually two now at 55% to charge on their beam. And Asian is kind of able to just play in this off-angle position, looking for any right clicks.
Big punches coming in on Jug, but Jug is able to get out. Again, Asian taking the angle with Arctic Spread. Frying Pan gets the shield and is able to put pressure on it. Asian falls, but not before they find the rail on Palustris. And now the res coming in on Asian. And Tuba and Jug finding Tasby and Jami. Even though Frying Pan is able to finish off Jug as well, Mystic gets the kill on Frying Pan. And they're only now just getting back to the point to try to push this around the corner and head around this beautiful new Vendetta statue.
Yeah, I mean, they did kind of leave the point for a little bit, or the payload, but if you're going to win that fight that well, I mean, you can kind of leave it a little bit. Sure, a little bit of ult progress would be nice, but I mean, or a little bit of point progress would be nice, but at that point, just making sure you win the fight is arguably a bigger importance.
We get Form now out from Falco as he's putting punches in, trying to eat up those bubbles from Mystic. Gets two of them. Frying Pan does find Jug. Asian fighting rails from above, but not able to get any picks out of it. Gets the slide, has to try to regroup, and they fully back out, giving Vitality Surge control over the payload again as it starts to inch its way backward.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. You could see a grab Vendetta ult here, which is arguably a insane combo when you factor in just being able to bubble a player like Jug, who's just gonna go in and cause some chaos. So being able to
Speaking of
gravitic
causing
flux
chaos,
in
they
addition
do
to
take
that.
they do take the high ground now. Tuba, Jug, and Mystic all holding inside this clock tower. Jug getting the bubble for the slices. Starts to take a little bit of damage, but the second bubble cleanses it. But now only 60 seconds left. Here comes the artillery strike. And an OC coming in. Trying to find anything again. Falco finds Mystic. Both rushes now. Just trying to finish anything off. Falco finds Asian. Jug finishes off Frying Pan, but there's a big sleep on Jug. Jug, but in the back line, just barely able to kill the Ana, but is sitting at 1 HP, looking for anything that they can now. They couldn't see it. They didn't finish her off. And now she's got bubbles and is back to health. But here comes another OC. Jug trying to find anything and finds Johnny. But that annihilation, finding Arctic Spread and Mystic. Jug falling dangerously low too as well and ends up dying. And just like we saw on map 2, these payload maps have been favoring Vitality Surge.
Yeah, Vitality Surge are just locked down on this defense. Really doing well to stop the momentum that Andromeda Horizon had coming into this map as well. I feel like Andromeda Horizon maybe are not as comfortable on these specific map game mode types as Vitality Surge is on their defense on these game mode types. So I'm curious to see how the attack side is going to go, however, as payload stopped just close to this Vendetta statue. Very interesting to see how the attack will go, as we can take a little look at some of these wanted posters once more.
That comp was the comp from Andromeda Horizon felt like it had two win conditions, both the Sojourn and Jug, and trying to go back and forth between the two of them and never really finding anything at any point in time.
Jug now's on this Hanzo.
We get the poke comp, a legitimate poke comp coming in. I mean, again, I say that, but that backline with Mercy Kiriko, as opposed to something like Babzen or something like that, is a little bit more interesting. I mean, the damage boost I think is going to be important, and they are starting to give up that space to to Vitality Surge really quickly. Trinity gets the jump in, and Jug finds Jami early. What a headshot. Big shots now coming in from Asian. Not able to find anything, but they do now control this corner, and just like Vitality Surge, Andromeda seems content to allow all of that progress up to this open space with only a few choke points of entrance. But let's take a look now at who we see flanking around the outside. DJ Frying Pan seeing what they can find, trying to solo. Oh no, and they tried to duel the Ash and lost. When Jug finding those arrows into Falco, and they're able to hold.
Jug has been doing really well with this Hanzo, and Fave Asian is kind of in a really good spot with that Mercy pocket at all given times. They're really just set up where nobody can really contest them that well unless they're able to take out that Mercy first. So I am curious to see, as now you do have them a little bit more focused on that potential area for a flanker.
Now Jami does TP behind, is forced to Wraith out, is a little bit low, putting pressure now on Asian, trying to see whether they can get anything done on this Ash. With Trinity Falco goes to the top line, and Trinity Falco finding 2, 3! And with that, just like Blizzard World, a 5K wins the map in less than 2 minutes.
And we're match point. We are match point
Only
Two
two
to
people.
two, ladies and gentlemen.
Only two of you today voted that this was going to go to a map 5. I will admit I was one of those two. But we are going to see map 5 now.
And it's going to be push to
It's got to be
finalize this.
push. So this is where the space, it comes down to who can control the space.
Mhm. I'll throw us into the map options. If we're playing push, New Queen Street, Esperanza, or Runa Sapi, which one would you say to go to while we wait for the options while we wait for the option from the team?
Those are all open. I think New Queen Street gives you the most opportunity for close for close quarter combat. Esperanza and Runasapi are both very, very wide open. Now, that winding street does put Runasapi at sort of a midway between Esperanza and New Queen Street. But I think that ultimately this is going to come down to how much space they want. How claustrophobic does Andromeda want Vitality feeling here tonight?
Very well said. I'm very curious, as obviously this is going to be a moment where teams are going to say, all right, we need the coach to come in, give us information, give us insight, tell us what we should do, what we should change, everything like that. So it might take a little bit to get this map selection, but very, very entertaining to watch, and I am ready for this. I am all here for it.
What do you think, chat? Which map do you think is going to be coming up here? Do you think it's going to be New Queen Street, Esperanza, or Runasapi? I'm in the vein of thinking that it's going to be New Queen Street because of all of the tight little holes that you can hide in and peek out from. Um, if try to draw try to try to draw the your opponent into these tight areas to try to clean them up a bit, and that has really favored Andromeda, except for when on Blizzard World, that is exactly what won it for Vitality Surge.
So we do have the selection. It's going to be New Queen Street for our last map of the night.
As predicted.
Quesadilla is going to be returning for the side of Andromeda Horizon. Arctic Sprite going back to the bench. And the bans for this map, we're going to see the Junker Queen get banned and the Juno get banned.
The Junker Queen getting banned is going to probably force us into a Ram versus Ram. I'd be very surprised if we saw anything other than that. I just have one gripe here about the new Queen Street map. They did a phenomenal job as a Torontonian. They did a very, very good job representing what Toronto can be, especially in the winter. The that beautiful ice rink out in front of City Hall, which is always there every winter. We don't usually have it look like a hockey rink, but they got to make it look more Canadian somehow.
Yeah.
My biggest gripe about this map is not the most unrealistic thing about this map is not the futuristic look of the buildings or the fact that Overwatch is playing here.
Is that the Leafs win?
That is a Leafs statue. That is an Omnic playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The most The most unrealistic part of this map is the subway map. Can we go take a look at that subway map?
Subway.
This is the curling. This is the curling. Go to the other
Yeah.
side. Please just come and look at the subway map. To the left. To your left. Right there. That subway map. If Toronto's subway map ever looks that good, I will eat my hat.
Fair enough. I thought you were gonna take a
I'll
shot
eat my
at the
toque.
Toronto Maple Leafs fans with a statue
No,
in
absolutely
honor.
not.
But instead, you're taking a jab at the Toronto subway system, which I fully understand. In the meantime, Jug will be going on this vendetta with the Zarya in hand, but we'll get taken out by Polish.
But the
right
Jug
away.
falls so fast. So much damage coming into that dive and no bubbles available for Jug. And the robot is going to start to get pushed there by DJ Frying Pan. Palustris playing their best DPS Moira. And Frying Pan ends up falling to Asian. And now the bubble coming out just to keep their team alive. Jami trying to get out with the... cannot. Ends up falling to Jug, who got back in time to deliver the greatsword.
Pave Asian already almost has Blossom Summon. Quesadilla almost has Beat. Tuba almost has Kitsune Rush. Taxby almost has Kitsune Rush. These teams are building
It's already
so fast.
very, very quickly. They're building. Oh, Asian fell so low, but got the bubble and the fade off just in time. But Jug ends up falling as a result of it. Oh, DJ Frying Pan getting beamed down by Mystic. Asian TPing on top to see if they can find anything from there. Ends up putting pressure. And now the dive in, the fade in from Palustris just to try to get the kill on Asian, and they find it. Tasby getting the kunai to the skull of Quesadilla. Trinity Falco punching Tuba in the face and finishing off Mystic with that Tesla cannon. And now the robot is about to come back to center and start to get progress
Can I just say,
for
I
Vitality Surge.
I love the way you say robot. I haven't heard it pronounced robot before,
I'm sorry,
and
it is Zoidberg.
No, it's fine. I love
It's-
it personally.
It's
personally a big fan of it, but you have a very good ult here coming up if you're the side of Andromeda Horizon, and it's this combo right
oh,
here.
There it is. Jami falls and Quesadilla falls. Frying Pan finding the rail on Jug. They're getting anything they can here on Asian, who has to fade out. And Falco jumping back to get healed up, but the robot continues to make progress. Mystic falling dangerously low and falls. OC now coming in from Frying Pan finds Asian. That's it, but that looks like it's gonna be enough to take the lead and take the robot all the way to butt scratch.
I love how
He doesn't actually scratch his butt anymore,
yeah,
but
I wish he still did.
He doesn't
I
do it,
liked
but-
that charm. But it is a good way to.
Mr.
to say the
Mikagi says
checkpoint.
it's the 2076 Toronto subway map. Yeah. Here comes the jump in now from Jug, trying to find Falco, falls low. The beat saves Jug's life, most likely. And Jug is able to find their way out. The robot being pushed back now towards center. Falco jumping in, trying to get a little bit of damage done, falling low, and eventually falls to Tuba. Quesadilla, though, falling low themselves, and Jug. But everybody able to get the healed up as they are able to stabilize now in Andromeda with 3 more picks. Palustris, Jami, and Tasby all falling, with Asian doing most of the bloody work themselves.
I'm sorry. I've been doing some Overwatch streaming in the EU side of Overwatch as well, so hearing someone say bloody before something is just bringing me back to the EU roots. But we're gonna see the Vet
Speaking
ult
of
here.
bloody, here comes Jug with a big sword from the top. Finds nothing. zones out a little bit to give them a little bit more space, but DJ Frying Pan finding the Disruptor, Palustris, and Johnme both finding kills of their own. Frying Pan finishing off Mystic. Not with the rail, but with the rail builder. What, I don't even know what it's called. I play Sojourn and I don't even know what her primary fire is actually called.
Oh, we do have a pause.
We have a pause.
Well, this is a fun match. There was a pause for a disconnect, so they will
We'll find out who that is.
shortly.
Hopefully it's not Johnme, because that is an important ultimate.
Well, we do have DC protection in this code. So if they do disconnect, apparently it was a VC DC. So a disconnect from the VC.
Okay.
But if they were to disconnect either way, it would result in, as long as they choose the exact same hero, they would still get all of their ult progress back nonetheless.
Things that I learned coming into this league and casting for all of you.
It's part of the work that Detri, one of our top coder people, was able to at least confirm for us, as now we'll be able to start the match once more as they've reconnected from VC.
And here we go. About 5 minutes left. Vitality Surge has a slight lead, a lead of only 13 meters. And here comes that primal rage from Falco to try to build up a little more space. But the absolute incredible ult coming in from Mystic and finding two. There's the spin from Asian, but the bubble saves everybody's life. Two ultimates contributed, but only one kill. And they're already on their way back, and Jug ends up falling for their troubles. Falco in over top, finding Quesadilla. Quesadilla is able to get themselves out. Mystic putting pressure on the front line. Johnme finds Asian. Reaper on Reaper action. And Trinity Falco finishing off Dense Tuba. And now that robot coming back up over forward spawn, which they already controlled, and they're pushing it up to the final corners of this map.
Yeah, they've got one more turn and a bit of forward progress to go, basically.
Right outside what is supposed to be Kim's Convenience. The dive now up into the high ground just to give a little bit of support. There's the drop. We have two support ults coming in, one from each team. That rush coming in. Johnme spins and finds nothing, but it doesn't matter because Falco and Palustris find two picks of their own. Jug on their way back, trying to kill Johnme. Johnme is able to TP their way out, and Quesadilla falls. Palustris putting in so much work. And now the final quarter and the home stretch for Vitality Surge, who lost the first map, have never led in this series. Here comes the big sword from Jug, and they find nothing when Johnme uses his Wraith to get out of it. Here comes OC now from Frying Pan, finding Jug, Johnme, Palustris, and Trinity Falco, all finding picks of their own. There goes Mystic, and they're closing in on a victory. Vitality Surge, who is down 1-0, 2-1. And now they're inching away, centimeters from victory. More picks coming in. Asian falling, Quesadilla falling, Tuba falling, and now with only Mystic left to finish it off, the bubble comes in. Mystic ends up falling. Oh my gosh, goodness, Quesadilla is able to make their way back, and here comes Reaper. Trying to put the spin in, it gets knocked away, gets nothing out of it. But the full team now is coming back from Andromeda. And just what looked like it was going to be over, Andromeda is now able to find things. No! Johnme, and down goes Jug and Asian. The damage coming in hot and heavy now. Mystic falling low and falls. Quesadilla falls. And the robot coming back. 1 meter left to go. And this one has gone to 5. And Vitality Surge, who lost last week 1-3, beats Andromeda Horizon 3 maps to 2.
Wow. this was a matchup. We normally don't see a close match like this early on in a season. So I am all for a 3-2 map 5 comeback for the underdog team already this early on. And now the question comes to who is the MVP for tonight? I have my vote, but
I have my vote. I don't think it's much of a question. I think we probably have the same person tonight.
Probably.
I have to say that for Andromeda Horizon, I really do. I don't know who I would pick if Horizon had won this because of how well everybody performed. I would have given it to Quesadilla, I think, after all of it, just because of that coordination, the shot calling that you have to do from the main support position, and all of Andromeda's wins absolutely were absolutely team plays. So a huge shout out to Quesadilla. But I think we both are going to agree on this. I'll be very surprised if we don't. Who is your MVP pick for tonight?
I was obviously going to give it to Trinity Falco.
Absolutely.
Trinity
That I think that's the right answer. Trinity Falco, congratulations. Just the work that he was able to do, the finding all of those picks, being that central strong core of this team, and leading the charge in every single situation. Frying Pan had some incredible plays of their own, and Jami playing absolutely exceptional Reaper play were just fantastic playing. DTH Frying Pan on that Emery was dangerous. Both of these supports are deserve huge props, but I don't think anybody um will dispute that Trinity Falco was absolutely the best player, not just in the match, but not just for this team, but for the entire match.
Yeah, and with that, we will be able to get Trinity in for a interview. So I will drag them in just now. I don't know if you have any questions prepared that you want to ask, but I've got some. So we'll
You go and
drag
open
them
it
in.
up, and I'll do some follow up.
Yeah, perfect. Hello, Trinity, and
Hello,
welcome.
my goated casters. How are y'all doing?
We're doing pretty good. How about
That's good.
yourself? How
I'm
do you
sweating
feel?
a little bit. It was a close game. Hell of a
It was
good
a
game,
close game.
Andromeda. Good shit.
First of all, I want to congratulate you. You are our MVP for tonight.
Thank you.
I think that you were an absolute pillar for your team. Not saying anything against anything else that anybody's done on your team
Oh,
tonight.
of course.
They all did fantastic work.
No, they
But
carried me. Yeah.
but but I think at the end of the day, I don't think there's much dispute. You were absolutely the best player in this match. So congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
MVP for this week.
Thank you. I honestly, again, I couldn't have done it without my team. My supports healed me. There were several times where I should have died, and then I just got I was like, what the hell? I'm still alive? So it was awesome. It was a fun game. Good vibes all around.
Yeah, so I mean, if
And
you
thank
don't
you guys.
mind, we'll get the interview started here.
All right.
First question for you. What part of your performance tonight are you personally most proud of? It's a common question I ask everyone, but it's always one that's fun to hear the answers of.
Of course. Honestly, I felt like the Ram was really on fire tonight. Like my Ram's decent, but like tonight it just felt really good. And I was hitting a lot of punches and stuff. Usually my punch accuracy, can't lie, isn't the greatest, but tonight it felt really good. I was hitting things I felt like I shouldn't have been hitting Loki. So
I want to talk about that Ram for just a second here, because
okay.
especially going back to Blizzard World, where you essentially won the entire map in that singular team fight on the high ground. What did you see going into that gave you that opportunity? And what who was it that made that call?
Honestly, so what happened was we saw John Me going. John Me did a lot of damage, as clearly seen. So I saw BAP one. I said BAP one, BAP one. He throws lamp. I call break lamp BAP one, and then the punches just started flying. BAP died. Someone else died. Then our Moira got a 3K. Props to, I think it was Tasby on the Moira at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Holy.
Mm-hmm.
Holy 3K there. So yeah, no, it was just
Absolutely.
as soon as we saw the BAP was won, the lamp was out, we knew that we could win the fight there. There was no questions asked.
Yeah, so I mean, coming into this match, obviously having lost the first game of the
Mhm.
series, h- how much would you say the pressure was on for your team? Did you guys feel like you were kind of in this underdog
There was definitely
situation?
pressure, right? I mean, we're playing what we consider to be one of the best teams in the division. Again, props to you guys, Andromeda. Y'all are insane. So we already knew coming into this, we're down a game. We're playing a team that I don't think had a single point taken off of them, if I'm remembering correctly. At least like control wise, they didn't have a point taken, and then they won every map.
Yeah, they 3-0 swept
Yeah,
Timberfalls.
it like so we were already like this is going to be a hard game, but this is where we need to bounce back, right? And the vibes were up the entire time. We lost map one, but the vibes didn't go down at all. We were like, all right, guys, we need to lock in. We won Blizzard World, right? And then we lost Saravasa, and Saravasa is usually our map. Like that is one of our maps. And so we're like, okay, guys, we really need like the vibes were up though. Like it wasn't anyone down on anyone or anything. They're incredible players, the whole team around. And I know, and someone want to shout out real quick, DJ, our ringer, the goat.
Awesome.
Hi,
Yeah. Thank
DJ.
you,
Yeah.
So,
DJ Frying Pan, coming in clutch with the ring tonight.
oh
You
yeah.
you were you never led at any point in time in the series tonight. You were
Mhm.
down 1-0 after the first, after you had went 1-1-1 back and forth in that in the map on Nepal. You tied it up, you went down again, you tied it up, and then you were able to bring out what looked like a pretty decisive victory on New Queen Street.
Mhm.
What do you say, like, what does that say about your team, and what does that say about how do you feel about your chances moving forward, um, as for the rest of the season?
Yeah, honestly, I just have one real response to that. Me and my team, Vitality Surge, we're playoff bound. That's 100% locked, especially after this game, this performance. My team is incredible. We're playoff locked. It's just a question of what happens when we get there.
Mm, okay.
Well, considering the way that you fought through that adversity, and uh, you didn't lead until you won the final match, I'd say you guys have a very strong core. I think you've got a really good opportunity to really go far this season. So again, congratulations on your MVP tonight. Congratulations on your map win, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Vitality Surge is able to do here in Division 4 moving forward.
Thank you, goats. I can't wait for our next casting. I'll see y'all again then.
Awesome, perfect. Well, I will send you back to your team VC so you guys can celebrate your match victory tonight. But thank you for coming in for this interview,
Hi,
Trinity.
thank you guys. Y'all are doing amazing, by the way. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hmm?
Alrighty, and that was Trinity, the MVP for tonight's match. Uh, map 5, final map, tiebreaker. Vitality Surge take it 3-2.
I don't think we could have asked for a better match tonight.
Yeah,
I think these two teams are going to end up being the two best teams in this division. Um, and they're both of these teams are obviously playoff bound. I'm really hoping that we're going to get that playoff game between these two, because I think it is going to be an absolute banger, especially if they end up with in a position where they can go to 7.
yeah. Honestly, I don't want to make the predictions too early into the season, but I will say right off of the bat, looking at how the match went tonight, this would be the type of matchup that I would love to see come finals of playoffs, where it's a back and forth for every single map, and it takes it to like a map 5. But that's gonna do it for tonight. We should have a stream tomorrow. Stay tuned for some more info on that. But I have been your producer, lobby host, and analyst caster Caustic. And joining me, we've had Mod Hobbs tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good rest of your night or evening. or afternoon, depending on where you are. And